Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse, and thank you for joining us for another round of our Speedy Beginner's Guide to Mambo Merge. This month, in office hours, Cynthia's going to be showcasing some of the new features included with our latest 2.0 release that is currently available to download within the AppExchange. Today is Thursday, August 10th, and we thank you for joining, and thank you, Cynthia, for doing this. Take it away.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm happy to show everybody our new Mambo Merge 2.0. Let me go ahead and share. And we're going to go ahead and go to an account page. And we're going to add Mambo Merge to the page just to give us a little review of everything, even though we're just showing some new features. So we'll go down to the gear icon in the top right. We'll go to Edit Page. We'll be pulling up our Lightning App Builder. On the left-hand side, you'll see we have components listed, standard ones that are built in with Salesforce. But if we type in Mambo, you can already see Mambo Merge with our little orange dancers right there. They're available. So we'll go ahead and drag to the middle panel here, and that's our preview of our record page. Let me close that guy. You can see Mambo Merge already populated in our preview. On the right-hand side, we have our configuration panel here happening. That pops up for any item that we click on. But for Mambo Merge, what fills in here is going to be the template ID. This is where we could put in our template file ID or our routine ID, which we'll go a little bit further into that once we save this to the page. But I did want to show you guys merge field notions. So default Mambo Merge uses double curly brackets to put in our merge field names. But we can now do, it's going to be a single curly bracket, exclamation point, and then a single closing curly bracket. Before we used to have just a single curly bracket, so you would be able to just do that. A little bit intimidating with Word and other features that when Mambo Merge was translating, it didn't quite always work. So we changed it up so that you didn't have to have any hiccups. So we have that option now. And then a new one is these angle brackets, or as some people refer to them, greater than and less than. We have those doubled up. That is an option. So you can choose either of these field notations, and your merge fields are going to be based on those. And when you look at your template builder or your merge data page in the routines that you're building, you'll be able to see what those merge fields look like with the right ones. So we'll go ahead, we'll put it back to our default of curly brackets. Just to look at the rest of them real quick. This guy keeps popping. We have a debug mode. This is just to help you guys if you ever have troubleshooting that you need to do and you want to see what Mambo Merge is doing. It'll give us options to look at the console and see some behind the scenes steps as it walks you through what it's doing. And then this built-in component visibility. This is just something that Salesforce has for all of its components that we can set filters for when and when not this component will appear on the page for your users. So we'll go ahead and save so that we can go and look at the component itself. And we're going to go back on our page, Mambo Merge here, and it's in our default mode of being able to upload a file or drag and drop the file in, and then it'll merge that document without any extra special things that Mambo Merge is able to do. You can already start merging documents. So let's go ahead and hit the drop down, and there's already something new happening here. We have Studio Template Builder support. What it used to be was setup. We've now replaced with Studio because that's where you're going to be doing the choreography for merging your documents from template to the final document. We'll go ahead and look at Template Builder because that's going to be looking the same. Template Builder, just a reminder, first you get your functions. These are special merges that provide options that do a little bit more than what just getting the data is. As you can see, account number shows the value that you would have for your account number on this account. Image is going to allow you to put an image into your document. And all of these guys, you can find more information on what exactly they do and how to best use them on our Mambo Merge support page. But if any chance that you do have a little bit more further questions, we can go ahead and contact us at support@Mambo Merge. So with the rest of our merge field here, there are these little ones that have arrows where we can drop down and show more. These are just grabbing further information from an object that's related to Mambo Merge. Mambo Merge does occasionally look for standard objects, a little bit more information. As it's looking here for my contacts, it's already assuming I'm going to want that related object. But most other related objects, especially custom related objects, will have to establish those relationships, but they'll look the same with the drop down, so we can see that. And then another thing is down at the bottom, these are the more important items that you probably look for all the time. And this is also included on the studio and the support page, is your edition version and the release version of Mambo Merge that you're working with, and also when your subscription is going to end. So you have a good idea of when to contact us to do that renewal without any interruptions happening. All right, so let's go ahead and close the template builder. And I'm gonna go ahead and look at Studio. We'll build a routine so you guys can see it. This looks pretty similar to setup. We haven't changed it. We're just changing the name so that it's more Mambo themed, which is always fun. So Studio was setup, and routines was configurations. So now we go to the studio to build our routines. It makes a little bit more sense, but is it going to be different? Is it going to change my previous configurations? No, we're just changing the name that we use to identify them. So we can go in to new routine. We'll build a quick, simple one for us. We're going to go ahead and use single record, but just to remind you, we have these multiple selection record merges, so we can do more than one record at a time. Record where allows you to select several records meeting certain criteria that you've established ahead of time. From flow allows you to choose which records you want to do at the time of the merge from the list view. And then from report, it's not necessarily pulling from the record itself, it's pulling from the report. So whatever information you pull into your report, Mambo Merge will use those fields only to be able to generate the document. So it's a little bit better if you're doing something more finite and detailed that you already know you need. So single record for now, just as we're building our simple routine. We'll go ahead to the next page, relationships. I talked about that with the template builder. Relationships are going to add any detail that you might need from another object aside from the one that you're merging on. There's two types of merges that you can do. You can do a lookup field, that's a one-to-one relationship, and then a related list, which is a one-to-many. To give you guys an example, since we're on an account has several opportunities attached to it. So that would be a related list if we wanted to get those opportunities. And then if we were on the opportunity page, each opportunity has only one account attached to it. So from there, we would do a lookup to get to the account. So you can have two different relationships depending on where you are in your Salesforce org and which object you're merging on. But if you need any extra information, these are going to be the options that you use to get that extra stuff in there. But we're not going to add anything extra. We're going to go ahead and hit next. And now we're on our merge data page. And this hasn't changed. We still get the fields here of the merge fields. And then we get our values on this side right here. If there's no data in the field, it's not going to show up. So it's always best when you're doing your first merge is to have a test record where you fill in everything so you know exactly how it's going to pop out depending on if it appears or not for each record. But let's go ahead and move to the next page. And here we are on templates. So we can have two options getting our template selected. We can choose to upload a template at the time of the merge. So with the way that Mambo Merge is set up default, you can select a template and we can drag or drop it. We can keep that and still add all our extra steps in there if that works for you. Or we can upload the template right now and put it into our org, or we can select a template that's already been in there. So if you have previous routines that you've built, you can also still go ahead and grab those templates, not have to do the whole setup of uploading again. I'm going to go ahead and show you something cool. It's going to take us a few minutes, but we're going to actually show a feature. You can upload a large file here in the studio for your routine. Before, it was limited to a certain size, but we've gotten that size up to, let me give you the exact number, 37.5 megabytes. I don't have a 37.5 megabyte file, but I do have a pretty big file. It's 23 megabytes. We're going to upload it and we're going to see it. It's going to take us a minute. It is a big file, but I don't have to step out of my studio just to upload it and then start the process all back again, because before you would get an error message that said, hey, this file is too big for Wizard to handle. It does do this. This is the browser telling me, hey, you're doing something that's taking a long time. But once we hit wait, it'll finish and add it to our Salesforce org, and I can complete this whole process here, which saves you so much time. There it is. It's already in there. You can see my big file. I can change my name here. Big file test, just to keep it simple for me. There's no merges in that file. It's just a big file so that I can have an example to show you guys. So merge, big file. So you don't have to worry and go out of the setup to finish a large template being installed. Most people are not going to be making a 23 megabyte template for their documents, but you're going to get some big ones, especially if you're doing a PowerPoint. So we'll go ahead and we'll leave it attached to record, but there are a few things that we have new. I'll show you those after we've gone through our other items we want to show. But we'll go ahead and leave this here with the big file test, merge big file. That's going to be my button or my drop-down option, depending on what we choose when we get to the end of our building routine. So we'll go ahead and hit next. And now we have backup dancers. Who are these guys? These guys are new, right? They're not. They're our post-merge actions. These are the guys that are going to be helping bring the start of your merge, which is your document, to be even more. So these guys are still the same options that we had before. We're just calling them backup dancers to help you, because that's what they're doing. They're backing you up. We can still update the record, we can save a task, or we can send an email. We'll just look at this real quick to show you how it looks. So update record, it'll go ahead and show you all the merge fields of your record. And we could select whichever one we want, add it in, and it'll recognize it. So this one is my active. It's giving me a drop-down menu. If I choose a date, let's find a date. You look at all of them and you can't find the one you need. Well, let's try this one. This one's your ID number. You would change it by searching for it, because it knows that you're not just going to throw in random stuff. This is an account that it's being attached to. So this is pretty intuitive in knowing what each field is and giving you the right option to change what it needs to be changed to. We're not going to update any of our records. We're just looking at our dancers real quick. So let's look at what a save task looks like. It lets us put in a subject. It lets us choose our status. We can also change it to complete, in progress, if we're waiting on somebody. If we're waiting on somebody, we probably need to set a due date. And this is going to be how many days out from your merge you need that due date set. So that's a pretty cool task to have. Send email. So this will allow us to choose our field here. If we're on an object that actually has an email set to it field, usually it pulls it up and selects it for you. Does that a lot if you're doing a merge from contact. Makes sense. So we could go in here and we could look for our email field if we needed to. Email template, this is going to be the email itself that gets sent to whoever you're sending the email to. Why are we choosing this? Aren't we merging a document? Well, the document that we merge with Mambo Merge is going to be attached to the email. So we still need to choose an email template using Salesforce classic email templates. And then we can choose our org-wide email address. If we don't choose that, not an issue. It just means that whoever is clicking the merge is going to be the sender. So that's what's happening with that. One thing to note with sending an email, if you choose any option, or if you choose download immediately, it's the only option that will not allow you to send an email because Salesforce is sending this email. So Salesforce needs to be able to see that document. And so we have to save it in Salesforce so it can complete the email for us. So if you choose download immediately, this won't appear as an option for you. But not to worry, just attach it to the record or attach it to another location within Salesforce. So we'll go ahead, we'll close that out because we don't want to add any of our dancers today. And we'll go to the next page. So routine ID, formerly known as configuration ID. Pretty straightforward. This is going to be the name that you put in your template ID field in the component if you remember it from earlier. Description, this is just a helpful spot for you to give a little bit more explanation of what each routine is because obviously you want your routine ID to be as simple as possible, straightforward, not too much information, but sometimes these can sound pretty similar and you might need to add in, this is going to do something a little bit different. And that'll be a spot here that you can add that in without having to have a complicated routine ID. And then here in the preview, we can see what our component will look like with the when we assign this routine to it. So I can choose a button. Pretty good. I could choose a drop down, which I would select it. And then from selecting, this would highlight and I would be able to click this to merge. Radio, it lets me checkpoint that and then merge. And then thumbnail, which is really cool, it gives me a preview of my document. And so I can select that, then hit merge. So these options are pretty wonderful. Another thing is we can show our routine ID here. So let's say maybe we have two components on a page with similar button names. Maybe we like our buttons to only be called merge, always and forever. It's a personal choice, but we don't know the difference between the different components we have on the page. So we can always add that routine ID down here so that we can identify which one is which. But you can always turn that off. This is just here to customize everything. So once we are happy with how our component will look, we'll hit save and we have our component. I'll go ahead and close this out. And just so we can see what it looks like on the page, we'll go ahead and add that in. So we'll go to our edit page with gear icon, edit page. Now we're in the Lightning App Builder. We select our component. The panel on the right changes. And I put in account 1. If I click here, you can already see it updating. Perfect. But we did not save, so we want to make sure save and then changes saves appears there. And we can go back. And my merge big file happens. That's pretty cool. Already ready to go. I don't have any merge fields in there, so we're not even going to try to merge because it won't show me any changes to the document once it generates. So we'll go ahead and look at our final little tab here, support. This is the cool one here. So we've added so much to it, but what are you saying? It looks the same. Well, it doesn't. Up here, we have these wonderful little tabs that our development and research team built out for us. It's pretty cool. We still tell you how many times you've used Mambo Merge because obviously you want to know if you're using this, how helpful is it? So that's still there. Again, down below, we still have these cool things here telling you what version, what edition, and when it's going to expire. Let's look at the first tab after home. It's going to be templates. And this is cool. We have these sample templates for you to try out. Sometimes when you first get Mambo Merge set up, it's a little intimidating to jump in and start building your template out. So you might want to just try Mambo Merge and see what it looks like, how it's doing it, just get a little feel. These guys right here are already built out to work on an opportunity. So you can test drive Mambo Merge without feeling intimidated. You have to start building that complex template for the first time. These you can edit, play with, get a little bit understanding of what's happening, and it's really helpful. So you just click these links, it'll let you download them, and you're good to go in using them. Let's look at Contact Us. This is really brilliant. This is a form for you to fill out if you need to contact us, get our support. And it's great because now you don't have to leave Salesforce, pull up our website, look for our Contact Us, and then try to get a hold of us. We save you that time by allowing you to fill this form out here in Salesforce when you're probably in the middle of using us. So convenience. And then once you hit submit, it'll go ahead and redirect you to the form on our page so that it already sends through that instead of you having to go and look for it. So this is just us trying to get you one step to a faster response. Now let's go ahead and look at features here. Here it is. So what is Freestyle, Fundamentals, and Full Speed? Well, we used to refer to our editions as Free, Standard, and Pro. So now that Full Speed down here makes a little bit more sense. This is our Pro edition, but not anymore. It's Full Speed. So this page here is to help you guys understand what each one is doing without, again, having to go look for that information on our website. You're more than happy to look at our website. It's got way more information, but sometimes you might be in the middle of doing something and you're like, what could I have been doing better if I didn't have just freestyle or fundamentals? Or maybe you are on full speed, but you're not using it to the full potential. It's just a quick little description right here telling you what is available and what it can do. And it gives you pricing so that you know what's happening on your end. And if you are in the middle of freestyle and want to jump to either fundamental or full speed, there's a button here to contact sales. Again, so you don't have to go looking on our website, finding all the information yourself. We got that button set up so that you can contact them and get started on using much more advanced Mambo Merge there. So then last but not least, we have this release notes tab. This is not showing all of our release notes, but it's showing the most recent ones. So you're going to get a lot of information of what has been updated to Mambo Merge recently. Probably the most relevant because you're probably going from 1.28 to 2.0. And you'll want to know what happened there. So as you can see, it does tell you a few terms and labels have been updated to reflect Mambo Merge theme. Well, yeah, we talked about routines, we talked about our backup dancers, we talked about our new edition names. So that's pretty cool what's happening here. And again, it just saves you time from having to go look for that information. So this is pretty awesome. This is what we're doing. And these are the new labels and everything. We do have a new feature that I want to show you guys. It's going to be allowing us to set up where we're setting our destination. So we'll go ahead and go back to our studio here real quick. I have an opportunity set up. It's set to single record, but we're going to change it. We're going to set records where. And I'm going to do account ID. I'm going to search for an account. I'm going to do the Burlington Textile, and we're going to go ahead and hit next. So what I'm doing is I've said that I want to grab all my opportunities for the Burlington Textile accounts. So that's what we're doing. You can see that we have only one set up. And then we go to the next page. It was set up to do an upload at template, time of merge, but we're going to change that. I want to do a invoice. So I can click that and it takes me to a file to explore all the files I have, and it shows me all my files. So let's get out of there and go to libraries because Mambo Merge has Mambo Merge template libraries. And here it is. There's only a few files in here because these are my templates. Makes it so much more easier for me. I'm going to go ahead and select that simple invoice, select it, and I'll go ahead and list this as invoice. And we'll just, yeah, leave it as invoice, and we'll change my file name to name in underscore invoice. So what did I do there? I used a merge field. This works if I'm doing one document per record. If I'm doing more than one document, in a single document, so one record per page, multiple records per page, I won't be able to use this field. I'll have to use just 3 options, and those 3 options are today, this year, and now. Today gives me the date, this year gives me the year, and now gives me the time with the date. So I'm just going to do name underscore invoice for one document per record. And we're going to select attached to a specific record. And we'll do this. So what's the difference between multiple files and single zip? Well, single zip will take all the files and put them into a zip file, and then I can attach it to Salesforce. But I don't want to do that. I want all the individual files, not in a zip, but still attached to that specific record. So we'll go ahead, still collect that. And then I can put in my record ID here. So what do I need to do? I need to go and open up another tab real quick. So I'm going to go duplicate. I'm going to go to accounts, and I'm going to go to the Burlington Textile account. And here we are. I need the ID of this. So I could go to details, and I could find my account ID that way, but I could also grab it up here in my URL. This is my favorite way of grabbing it because I didn't have to go and click anything. I'm already on the record itself. So I grab that. That's my file ID. I'm going to populate that right there. So now what I'm doing here is I've set a destination for all these individual records of my individual opportunities that are related to a Burlington text file to be not put to my opportunities, but to be put to my account record for the Burlington text file. So we'll go ahead and hit next. We're not going to do any backup dancers here. And then we're going to go to save opportunity 1. Yeah, we'll leave it as opportunity 1. So my routine ID, we don't want to leave it on a button. And I do like to see my routine ID, so we'll go ahead and hit save. So opportunity 1 right there. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm going to go to opportunity page and drop this in there. So we'll go to an opportunity page. I already have a Mambo merge there on the page, but it's not set to anybody. So let's go to edit page. We'll select the Mambo merge. Template ID, type in opportunity 1. Right click to make sure that it updates. Perfect. And then I'll hit save. We'll go back. And we'll do invoice again. All right. So this is probably something on my fault, but what should be happening when we do that merge is that we get the file to generate here on this account here. And it would fill in with our notes and attachment right here, instead of on that opportunity that I was looking at. That's going to be a great thing for you guys when you're trying to do a lot of things for a particular account and you don't want to attach it just to opportunities. You don't want to make a whole bunch of libraries and have to go and look for them, but you want them attached to the parent record. That'll help you guys out. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and return it to Jesse so that we can answer any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you, Cynthia. And we do apologize for going over the time here. We did have a lot of stuff to cover. So one of the questions that was submitted through our form link here was, and it could be an obvious one, right? With this 2.0 update that's going live and it's already available to download within the AppExchange for our existing Mambo users that currently have it installed and are going to get this updated automatically. Is there a way for them to opt out and do some testing either on the sandbox or somewhere else before it goes live into their production org?
Yes, so our paid users are able to update us and say that they do not want us to push to sandbox or push to production. They want to be able to take it slowly and test on their own, especially if they're in the middle of building out new stuff. So you would just contact us either at support@Mambo Merge or even sales@Mambo Merge. if you're in the middle of the process of purchasing with us, we can update your account as we speak with you. So that would be the way to let us know. Otherwise, we are automatically pushing to our free users and any new users who haven't alerted us that they need it otherwise.
There is one more question that just came in here on the form link. And I guess I may be interpreting a little bit wrong, but based on reading the actual release notes information, might understand what they're talking about. They're referring to those new merge field syntax for any existing templates that they have existing merge fields. And looking through the description you provided, will those have any impact if they need to either change their merge syntax format that they've used in the past, or would they can use this new format to automatically work within a Mambo merge component?
So if they want to use any of the new notation that we have, they will have to update their templates to use those notations, but they're not automatically turned on. So if they were already using the curly bracket beforehand, it's always going to be defaulted to the curly bracket. They would have to go in, change the component themselves to choose the exclamation single curly bracket or the angled brackets. We did previously have single curly brackets. Those were slowly being phased out. So if anybody has those, it may be affecting their Mambo merge when they update. So they'll want to go in, choose which notation they want, and then update their templates. But anybody who is using curly bracket doesn't have to worry. We don't turn on the angled brackets or the single with the exclamation mark.
Okay, thank you for answering that there. Last set of questions. Anybody else has anything before we wrap this up? Okay. Well, we do thank everyone for joining. And if you think of questions after this call as it happens, feel free to send them our way. Our next office hours is scheduled for Thursday, September 7th. So follow us on social media or email us to add you to the list. We thank you, Cynthia, for running us through this and answering questions. We thank you, folks, for asking questions. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.